What's up? What's good? What is happening? Welcome to my live stream. I am the actual King Smith, and this is a Tuesday vlog in which I come on and talk about whatever the funk I want to talk about. Today, I almost said tonight, so it came out as today. You know what? We'll say today. Today, I'm going to be talking about control what you can control. And with everything else, all right. But before I get into my opening monologue and what I'm going to be talking about today, let's get the marketing stuff out the way. I'm streaming live across multiple platforms: Facebook, YouTube, X, aka formerly known as Twitter, Twitch, and I'm on LinkedIn today. I've been a little bit leery about live streaming my Tuesday vlogs on LinkedIn because a lot of my coworkers are over there. But my Tuesday message typically isn't one that's negative or anything fireable. So, hey, coworkers, if you're checking this out over there on LinkedIn, welcome. All right. And hey, look, if there's a like button wherever you're watching this at, hit the like button for me. All right. That definitely helps me out on the algorithms. The algorithms. Let's take a look into the comment section and see who popped in early before we get started. Shout out to my boo thing, aka God Happened to Me, aka Michelle Early. What's up? And good evening to you. I just saw your face and heard your voice, and I appreciate you tuning in. Shout out to my guy, the Greek Pete, aka Peter Lyricist. And he asked if I forgot to send it out again. No, I have not left my house today. The moment that I hit in on this live stream, I am going to UPS. I am going to mail out the camera, and I'm going to send you the confirmation code on that. So I did not forget. I just have not had the time and opportunity to do so. But I told you, on my word, on the street of my word, I got you. And when any man takes the time to say, "On my word," that's as close to 100% guarantee as you're going to get. So I got you, brother. Camera will be on the way today. I actually was using it because I figured out why it wasn't working the way I needed to work for me, but you'll enjoy it. I haven't said "on my word" before. I've said I was gonna send it and not sent it, but I've never said "on my word," which is almost the same as saying "oh my mama." When somebody say "oh my mama," you chances are they're serious. But I got you today, my man. It will be out, and I'll let you know that. So something's a little bit different today. I'm live streaming earlier. I want to keep my Tuesday vlogs, but what I want to do is have it done earlier in the day so I can have more of my evening to be able to take care of business, uh, go to the gym. I'm going to have some times where I'm going to have to pick up my daughter. So it's going to be probably around right at 5:30 now. If I can get it done as soon as I get off my normal 9 to 5 job and come over here, then I would definitely make that happen. And there's gonna be other times where, being that I do have a kid who's doing after school extracurriculars, there are gonna be some times where I'm gonna have to navigate around that. But enough of that. All right. He said, "How about the 2 videos that, I said that I'm gonna do for you?" All right, I'll tell you this, on my word, I got your Monday motivational video for next week. The other one for the review, it will get done. I didn't say on my word on that one. So what are we talking about today? Today we are talking about control and focusing on the things that you can control and not focusing on others. But before I do, I can tell that something did not happen that was supposed to happen here. So let me take care of this real quick. Add this over here, save that there. Got to hit a refresh over here, and I should be squared away here in about 5 seconds. Why does my restream choose to forsake me today? All right. But we're going to get this thing moving along here. There we go. All right. I finally got it fixed. All right. So I do these videos to throw out some positive vibes out there. Also, I realized too, as the older brother, so to speak, I don't get the opportunity and chance to really talk with my siblings that often and share the things that, I've learned and messed up on over, my 39 years of living. And I want to take this opportunity, if they so choose to listen and check it out, share the things that I talk about whenever I'm mentoring young men. A lot of the message and things that I say here isn't anything that I don't say that's different to them. If you've lived a life and you've made decisions in your lifetime, you are going to learn a thing or two. The hardest part about all of that is deciphering what's trash and what's not. How you can take somebody else's experiences and things that they've learned that they're trying to tell you and sifting it through and seeing what applies to you and what doesn't apply to you. And when it comes to the subject of controlling what you can control and focusing on that, I thought about this. Okay. We all have things in our lives that we can control and things that we can't control. That's everybody. There is not anything about myself that makes me different from anybody else that's watching or listening to this on the audio only version. But what is important is to learn the difference between those two. It's my opinion, okay? This isn't a fact-based thing, right? Fact is 1 plus 1 is 2. But in my opinion, if you focus on the things that you can control, then you can set yourself up for success in the future, which I'm going to talk about the future as well, because the future isn't one of those things that you can control. But if you focus on the things that you can't control, then it's my opinion that you're setting yourself up for future disappointment and a whole lot of frustration. All right. So let's talk about some of the things that you can't control. And I'm going to give a couple of examples here. And if anybody thinks of anything else, add that to this list. Okay. What are some examples of things you can't control? Obvious one, the weather, right? You want to have a barbecue, invite your folks over, family and friends, and you're like, oh man, it's football time. All the games over and gonna be live on Saturday. I'm gonna invite the crew over. We gonna fire up the grill, eat some dogs, watch the game, yada yada. And uh Hurricane Ida or whatever the one that's about to hit Florida rolls through. All right. Cancel all them plans because it's likely that it's not going to happen. It's also likely that while it was projected to come your way, it just simply might miss. But if you're going to focus all of your attention and time on the what ifs, on things that you can't control, you're going to give yourself anxiety. You're going to give yourself undue stress that's simply not needed. All right. Also, other people's thoughts, actions, and feelings. You can't control how other people are going to react to the things that you say or the things that you do to an extent. If I decide to throat punch somebody out there, let me be more specific. If I decide to throat punch Mike Tyson, there's a chance people will be visiting me at my tombstone because Mike Tyson's not going to like that too much, or his security may not like that too much. All right. But my main point in that is you can't control the thoughts and actions of others. So why stress on that? You also can't control the things in the past, and you can't control things in the future. I know if I could control the future, there'd be some things that I'd be planning on happening tonight, tomorrow, that would likely be a mix of righteous and ratchet, all at the same time. All right. So I choose to focus on the here. I choose to focus on the now and focus on the things that I can control. As of right now, I can control this live stream. I can control the words that are coming out of my mouth, and I can control my thought process to the things that people choose to write and say to me in the comment section. Speaking of the comment section, shout out to classmate friend Chris over there. He says, I've learned this a lot over the past few years. And I have a thought process about that too. I'll probably say for me personally, I had always heard of this, focus on the things that you can't control, right? If you've heard of the serenity prayer, that's a part of what the serenity prayer is. But it didn't really hit me fully until my mid 30s. It didn't hit me fully until I was kind of like at rock bottom in my life anyway. And I needed to turn some things around so that I could get things working for me instead of working against me. And once I understood that there's really not much I could do about the things that I can't control, but there is a whole lot of things I can do about the things I can control. Stress plummeted, anxiety plummeted, life started trending in a more positive direction. Okay. So I think that there's something to that, Chris, when it comes to age, wisdom, life experiences, and listening and talking about this kind of stuff to some of my peers. Yeah, it is around mid 30s is when it clicks. All right. Shout out to one of the afros over there on Twitch. He wrote things you can't control. I can't control killers in DBD because they are training for the Olympics. I appreciate that laugh. God happened to me said you can also control how they treat you. You can control, you can decide what you allow, but not how they treat you. If I'm reading that right, let me double check this. You can't control how people treat you. You can decide what you allow, but not how they treat you. That's correct. Absolutely correct. There was or is a viral video going around with this. Eh, I'm not gonna call her a celebrity, but if you're in certain spaces, you know who she is. A lady by the name of Brittany Renner. She used to be a former Division 1 athlete that written books, um, puts out content, and she, in my opinion, lost her ever loving mind on what she did. I think she's the queen of going viral, and going viral definitely happened, but she was in a space on somebody else's podcast with other guys around, and she started acting very ignorant, is the word that I'm going to say. And what I noticed is that a lot of the guys that were there, I guess because of her name, because of the reaction that they figured that they might get from that, as that podcast was live, so it was a live stream, they allowed everything to continue for the laughs, for the jokes, for whatever. And in my head, I'm like, by them allowing that, that's one of the main reasons why I think that as the future keeps going, you're going to see a real big divide between the haves and the have nots. And those that are going to be on the side of the haves are going to be those that it's not going to be based on how rich you are. It's not going to be based on your family name or anything like that. I think it's going to be a bit of what type of self control you have and what you choose to allow and occur in your life. All right. He said, all jokes aside with the DVD stuff. I'm right. Absolutely. Hey, I appreciate you checking in on Twitch. I'll likely be on tonight as well, gaming with the afros. Chris said we can't control what God has in store for us. Absolutely. All right. Absolutely. Um, so y'all gave some great examples of things that you can't control. What about things that you can control, right? Things that you can control. Look inward because a lot of the things that I'm about to list and talk about has to do with yourself. All right? Your attitude. You can control that. Your effort that you give, whether you're out there on the football field, whether you're at your job, whether you're doing your side hustle, whether you're in a relationship, you can absolutely control your effort and what you choose to give into that. I'll even almost go as far as no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. Next thing, your actions. You can control your actions. All right. If I throw punch Mike Tyson, because that's what I chose to do, and Mike Tyson or his security decides not to, mangle my face in, uh, then Mike Tyson made a choice to allow me to live that day. All right. You can control your choices. I had a conversation about a time when I was depressed and the things and the decisions that I made when I was in a depressive state. And I'll say this very clearly that there were no excuses for the choices that I made. I made those decisions. I can't blame it on anybody or anything but myself. People sometimes get things confused where they say, well, if I wasn't blah, 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 then, or like if then. If you're into computer programming, there's if then statements. Well, if this didn't occur, then this wouldn't have happened. No, 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 no. You still have agency over your actions. The only person that you could blame for the choices that you make in your life is yourself. I do understand the impact of things. I do understand the impact of how things can affect you, but you still have a choice that you can make coming out of that impact. And the final thing that I wrote down here is your perspective on things. I'm a glass half full kind of guy, meaning that I don't see things in a very pessimistic view. I see things from a very optimistic view. You know, I go to an event and I blow a tire out at 11 o'clock at night and I have to get a tow, truck to come down and pick me up. Granted, that was an expense that I wasn't happy about. I also had to then get an Uber to get home and then wait till I could get my car fixed the next day, yada yada, right? So here I am, a little bit upset that after coming back from a real dope experience, I then had a Uber expense, another Uber expense so that I could get back to my car, a flat tire that I had to get fixed, all that stuff. And I had to take a second to just, stop, breathe, and think about it because it was what it was, right? A couple of years ago, that would have bothered me. And one of the reasons why it would have bothered me is because I would have been focusing on all of the stuff that I didn't have any control over. I've gotten to a place where now I choose to focus on the things that I can control over. King, you depressed? I can't see that. You are too awesome and too funny. Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you. Absolutely appreciate those kind words. I used to mask. I used to mask it. I masked my depression through jokes. I masked it through spending money and just throwing money on things. And I am a gamer. I like gaming. It is entertaining, but I can also see times where, like, people don't know this. I used to play World of Warcraft a lot. Well, part of me playing was just to escape the thoughts that I had about not feeling adequate enough. But funny enough is mm, how do I say this? I didn't feel like I was adequate enough for other people, and I had to learn to stop that shit. That's as much as I'm going to say on that. It wasn't that I didn't feel adequate for myself. I didn't feel adequate for other people that were in my life and what I was going through at the time. So I mean, it had an effect on me. And then like people do, if you do the work, you kind of had that breakthrough, if you will. And now I can tell you that if my own mother, who is likely listening to this live stream right now, acted, did, or said something ignorant, I'd cut her off. Clean off. All right. And it's not that hard for me. It is not that hard for me. I don't care, family or friends. If you are an anchor in my life, I cut it. Plain and simple. God happened to me, said, thank you for the honesty. I try and come on here, and definitely for the people that choose to hear me talk for 20, 30 something minutes, and be as hot as I can. Shout out to the real precious, honest, open, and transparent. And who let the onions about to make me cry in this club? Respect. Respect. Chris said, when Haley, his daughter, passed, I went into a deep and dark depression where Kathy and I almost divorced. One day I woke myself up and something told me I needed to get better. So I chose to do things in memory of Haley. Hashtag Haley Strong. And Chris, thank you for sharing that. Chris and his wife did something, or I'm sorry, not did, they experienced something unimaginable, the loss of a child. I am a father who, while I can't understand that because I have not lost a child myself, I can empathize with how that must feel because not just you, but several people who I know have lost a child. Naturally, right? Adults and parents should outlive their children. So to experience the loss of a child, not just you, that didn't affect just you, that affected everybody around you, man. And he posted right here and he talked about how part of Chris's deep dark depression caused him and his wife to almost divorce. And I want to say, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, But you and Kathy have been married or together at least for almost 20 years? Let me know how off I am on that. Let me know how off I am on that. Because we're in 2023. 20 years was 2003. It's been a long time. It has been a long time. All right. But thank you for sharing that. I absolutely think that it's important to come on and talk about these things, so that people around the world. I think I've talked about this several times. 11 years. Okay. Time flies. My bad. 11 years. Hey, I was having a joke about something that I did 2 years ago, thinking that it was like 7 years ago. But no, I turned 37 2 years ago. But the incident that happened in my head seemed like it was such a long time ago. But coming onto these spaces, I've shared that I had somebody who wrote me from Australia and said, "Hey, thanks for sharing and talking about XYZ. I was going through something similar, and it was nice to know that I wasn't the only one." I still have that email. It is I have 3 emails that are favorited, and that is one of my favorited emails. All right? So that's my message for today. Control what you can control. Everything else, I don't have the right answer for. If it's me, I say drop it. Choose to focus on the things that you can give resources and efforts to that can elevate you, because the things you can't control, think about it. 9 times out of 10, it's not something that can elevate you. It's not something that can improve your quality. So why put energy and effort towards things that you can control? You can't control. You can't control how somebody reacts to you. You can't control how somebody thinks about you. You can't control how somebody perceives you. There's several times that I've came on here, heads not cut, beards not trimmed up, looking straight dusty, and you would think that somebody would perceive me as somebody that don't have a job, can't speak, and probably go, why should I even take the time to listen to anything that this dude would have to say? The information could be valuable, yet if the way that I came on live presenting myself was of somebody that was unkempt, which I've done sometimes, I can't control how somebody reacts to that. All right. Shout out to Ricky Webster is in the building. Said, "What up, big bro and Michelle?" My guy Ricky, man. I don't know. Every time I see Ricky pop into the building, I get a little bit of an extra smile on my face. But hey, Ricky, he says I'll tap in on the replay. Absolutely, man. Thank you. And Michelle said hey to you as well. I decided to go on a little bit earlier, man, because I didn't want to compete with CGA. I actually like his his Tuesday content. And instead of being on live at the same time with him, I'm like, you know what? I can control when I go live. So there were several factors in me going live earlier today, but that was one of them. Not the main reason. I am also going to be getting off of here, going to the store to mail off something, and then going to the gym. Right? I need to get my ass in shape. I'm 39, about to be 40. And one of the things that I can control, but I can't fully control my health. I can't fully control if I'm sedentary or not. And I'm trying to be a lot more active out here. All right. So, to everybody that chose to tune in and hit that like button, thank you. To one of the funniest comics out there, said, "Keep up the good work, bro." Hey, and I appreciate you um popping in and saying what's up as well. Michelle, I know that you're about to head out to your church. Be safe out there on these roads. And to the Afros, I'll be on later tonight playing some Dead by Daylight. You can bank on that. All right, y'all. This has been fun. I will be back on next Tuesday, right after, what is it, Labor Day? Coming off the holidays. Hope everybody have a good rest of your week. Hope this advice helps, and I'm out. Peace.